The saying goes, prevention is better than cure. Take the raid on the Medway in 1667, for example. Some may argue the reason the Dutch were so successful was because there was very little in the way to stop them getting to Chatham Dockyard in the first place, except for the outgunned battery at Upnor Castle and a boom chain across the Medway River, which the Dutch sunk and sailed over. Hello folks, it's been a while. Welcome to episode 4 of Battery Charge, the amateur history show. I'm ROSSCO. It would seem that when defending a main port or harbour, the idea is to try and stop the threat getting anywhere near it in the first place. The batteries we've visited so far on this series have been geared towards mid to long-range coastal defences, with artillery designed to engage a target miles out to sea. Sources use the term outer defence to describe these batteries. Thus, prevention in this case is better. Engaging the target away from your stronghold buys your fleet time to mobilise a defence. Hypothetically speaking, what happens if your opponent's fleet somehow slips past these outer defences and makes their way to the estuary or river where your main port is? What's there to stop them?
Hello YouTubers, I'm Gunny. On this episode of Battery Charge, I'm at Devil's Point on the Devon coast. Overlooking Firestone Bay and the Hamoves behind me is a network of coastal defences spanning a period of 500 years or more. In this episode, I'm going to be investigating what defended this oh so narrow stretch of water. Just upriver from my location is Devon Dockyard, and behind me, behind that wall, is the Royal William Yard. Both of these sites are synonymous with a safe harbour, Navy shipbuilding and resupplying. Sources suggest that this location is perfect for building a battery on, because the natural landscape makes this area easy to defend and harder to overcome. Hypothetically speaking, we think any attempt by an enemy fleet to raid the dockyards at this point would force them into a bottleneck, thereby slowing their advance. I'm going to start right here at Devil's Point and work my way back towards the city, looking at 7 points of coastal defence along the way. Number 1. Built around the end of the 15th or beginning of the 16th century, depending on which references you use, this is a blockhouse. Put simply, a blockhouse is a fortified building containing gun emplacements. It's believed to have been built by the Edgecombe to protect their harbour. They own that land over yonder. In World War II, it may have had a machine gun post installed, covering the boom chain that stretched across the mouth of the estuary here. Just look at its location, covering the narrowest part of the Hamoves. So, you might be thinking, a couple of guns here and a couple of guns there aren't going to stand up to the size and mass of a 16th century fleet. However, there is another blockhouse across the way, which is part of a chain of forts and batteries all along the coastline designed to catch the enemy fleet in a crossfire. Resources suggest that 16th century guns may have been set in a very low position so they can hit boats just below the waterline, causing them to sink. Site number 2, Devil's Point Battery B. What happened to Battery A, you may ask? Well, it's been demolished and Battery B are pretty much built on top. Devil's Point Battery B was built in 1902, so this follows the design principles of late Victorian and other Edwardian batteries we have seen. Only this time it's been scaled down to something considerably smaller. Perhaps one of the smallest batteries we've encountered thus far on the series. 10 metres long perhaps. According to sources, under the grass would have been a popular design feature that we've already seen. An underground magazine for ammunition. In fact, you can just about see it. Let's look at the battery setup. So so this battery overlooks the mouth of the estuary, but also covers the water between Drake's Island and the coast of Mount Edgecombe. Devil's Point Battery B was armed with two 12-pounder QF or quick-fire guns, but downgraded and finally disarmed in 1936. Sources suggest that the 12-pounder would have been a 3-inch caliber gun designed for mid to close range encounters, which is fair enough in such close quarters. And that's the point. You don't need heavy guns which are slow and time consuming to operate in this situation. Pressing on, we arrive at location number 3. This building is what remains of a World War II generator shed. Similar in design to what we visited on episode 3, this would have contained a dynamo to generate electrical power. Pressing on to location number 4, Western King Battery C. Following on from our 1940s generator building, and now used as a nice place to sit and admire the view. These gun emplacements were constructed in 1941. These two gun emplacements were armed with twin 6-pounder guns. Sources suggest that these were much more efficient than the 12-pounder QF guns. This could well be why Battery B over there wasn't armed in World War II. According to sources, twin 6-pounder QF guns are 2.24-inch caliber, which is 57mm. And on a side note, were also used as armament on the first tanks used in World War I. These were designed to defend against fast torpedo boats and light craft in close quarters. This position covers one side of the island, and the other position covers the mouth of the estuary and a stretch of coast leading up to it. Moving on to location number 5. These concrete structures below Battery C are what remains of the searchlights. Sealed up they are. No shield covers here, possibly shutters. Attack could come day or night. Location number 6. This is Western King Battery B, again built on top of Western King Battery A in 1898. Our sources suggest that this is perhaps the only 7-position 12-pounder QF battery in the whole of Britain. If you have any evidence to the contrary, please let us know. Under the grass would have been an extensive underground magazine with tunnels. Derricks, or very simple crane arms, would have been used to winch the ammunition back and forth to the store. And like most other batteries, there would have been an auxiliary building here for the soldiers to reside. However, no evidence of that remains today. When the newfangled 6-pounder showed up, the Western King Battery B was made redundant. So, now let's look at the 1898 setup. This battery covers the water on both sides of Drake's Island. The range of fire sweeps across Firestone Bay. No doubt, in 1898 there would have been defences on Drake's Island too, stopping boats meant from Plymouth Sound, but that is something you will have to investigate for yourselves. It could be argued that this many guns reflects the political worries of the time. Now, in 1860, the Royal Commission, spearheaded by the Prime Minister Henry Temple, the 3rd Viscount of Palmerston, seemed to suggest that Britain was not up to defending itself in the event of an invasion. So, in the late 1800s, all over Britain, a Palmerston Fort, as they would be known, and coastal defences like this popped up as a show of strength and defiance. Some may argue it was scaremongering, as these defences were never truly tested, hence their name, the Palmerston Follies. Or perhaps they worked better as a deterrent. However, lessons have been learned from the Medway raid in 1667. Sources suggest that this battery was designed to engage multiple targets in a punishing hail of fire. This battery has one more trick up its sleeve. There is an island in the way. Drake's Island obscures the eastern approach to the battery. So if by some miracle an opposing fleet split up to go around, hoping there was a safe harbour on the other side of the island, they were in for a shocking disappointment. And finally, at location number 7, the Artillary Tower at Firestone Bay. Now a top-notch restaurant that is open for 7 days a week, except for Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it is another blockhouse built in 1495. Most likely upgraded over the years, it was to support Devil's Point's blockhouse.
So there you have it. Interesting location. Who would have thought? 500 years of history. On reflection, the inner defences seen in this episode used smaller calibre artillery in conjunction with the natural landscape to create a stronger defence. Multiple artillery sites means you can engage multiple targets, thus a better defence and a safer harbour. Join us next time on a very special episode. We are taking a guided tour of St Anthony Head Battery on the Cornish coast. As always, check out our links in the description below and don't forget to question and click subscribe. Until then, goodbye.